As I'm recording, I had just watched episode 4 of season 3, which ends with Conrad saying, "What have I done?" So he knows. So he knows it's his own fault. He knows he did it. It's his fault. His brother is marrying his girl. There you go. Welcome back to another episode of Girly Media Things. So I was having some thoughts on The Summer I Turned Pretty as I was watching season 3. The storyline is kind of progressing how we know it is going to. It's the Jeremiah Belly engagement and all that jazz. And I was just kind of thinking about it, and I just wanted to talk about the character flaws, because the character flaws of Belly and Conrad and Jeremiah, because it seems to me that people are, I see this comment a lot, the summer that Belly ruined a family, the summer that, I destroyed a family type of thing. And I really just wanted, and I think I'm very protective of Belly because she's just such a very every man character that represents sort of every girl. So I feel like I have to and it's even coming from the women that, oh, Belly's destroying a family by dating two brothers. And I don't know, as somebody who's been in semi-similar situations, it's kind of not that straightforward. I feel like here's the thing. When you start off in season 1, Belly, it says that Belly has always been in love with Conrad. He's always been her son. There's the infinity necklace. There's this, that, the other. In season 1, she's totally receptive to him. She wants to be with him. She's supporting him. Not in season 1. That would be more season 2. In season 1, she's kind of pining for him. And then she's kind of thinking that, being with him is a dream and it's unrealistic. So she sort of, rather than, waiting around and believing in this dream that may or may not happen, she decides to go for realistic options. Like, she goes for Cam Cameron, and she tries that. She attempts it, but she finds him to be a little bit lackluster, and she doesn't have the chemistry with him. And then she's obviously, has kind of Jeremiah there, and Jeremiah is really fun, and she gets to be like a kid with him, and they're similar in age and goofy and stuff like that. So she's this is somebody she sees every summer that she's close friends with, that they've been developing since they were children. So it went from probably a very platonic relationships to now as teenagers they have kind of different thoughts about each other. So, but then there's just this thing where Belly is waiting for Conrad, and Conrad and her kind of have an exchange of where they almost kiss, and then Jeremiah he shoots the fireworks at them to kind of being that divine intervention of not letting them to get together out of jealousy or out of whatever. And then the next day, when Belly's confronting him about it, he totally shuts her down. And well, he doesn't shut her down, but he basically says yeah, I think about you, you know that I do, but I can't right now. So he kind of acknowledges that the dream is within reach, but then sort of snatches it just as quickly as he gives it. And I understand where he's coming from. He's he's young, and he's in an uncertain place in his life, and he's just about to enter university to become a doctor, and his mother's going through chemotherapy. He has all these things on his mind, and he doesn't, it's to him, yeah, I like this girl, but she's a third of my life, and then I have these other 2/3 that I'm prioritizing. But to Belly, Conrad is 100%. He's 100% of her world. If you want evidence of Belly dropping everything for love, think about volleyball, which she after Susanna's death, she had to drop, / after the breakup with Conrad, she couldn't be part of the team, she couldn't be captain. Also think season 3, when she's with Jeremiah and she's considering giving up going to Paris for him. Yeah, case closed. Conrad's, he has like he's basically fine leading women on, which is not good. And I guess he's in that age where he like knows he's not ready for anything serious, but yet he still fucks with girls' minds. And this is bad. This is like a huge flaw for him. And it's funny that in season 3, you know, we see this great character evolution of like him, because, I mean, in season 2, we kind of see him fall apart. We see their relationship fall apart and all of that stuff because of his depression. And once again, it's like Billy's like that 30% that he like can't get it together for. And it's just like really sad. But it's a lot of men are like this. They can't even think about like a relationship in a serious way. And this is the thing, those are the good guys, the ones that don't are not going to engage you until they have everything together, because they can actually take care of you. But the problem with him is he just basically, his thing is, I'm not ready, I'm going through stuff, I'm going to school, I'm this, I'm that, and Belly, you're not a priority, so boop, like, just whatever. And Belly is right. Conrad is like kind of her 100% right. I mean, she has other things, obviously. Like, this is a modern thing. She has her own college and dreams and her volleyball thing, but this is once again a romance series, so it's about the huge and the bigness of the emotions of love and infatuation and romance. And it's heartbreaking for her, because this is kind of like the curse of women, is like we always, like, men are like the 100% thing in our life. So like whether we like it or not, I don't like it. I don't like that it's that way. But anyway, she has this 100% possibility, because they become a relationship in season 2. So she's with him, she gets to live the dream, but then it gets snatched from her. It gets taken away from her, and her infinity, her true love, her whatever, it gets snatched, and she is scrambling to fill that void. She's trying to fill that void, and yeah, she fills it with Jeremiah. And Jeremiah is like, remember, you have to understand that both these brothers are willing. They are willing. Jeremiah is in it for the competition. He is trying to one-up his brother in some way. He can't do it academically. He can't do it in sports. He can't do it in the eyes of his father. So he wants to snatch his girl, at the very least, in order to sort of even the scale. So does he like Belly? Yeah, obviously he does. She's great. But even in like all of the season 3 episodes, you can see how self-centered he is. All he talks about is himself, and she's almost like filling a motherly role for him, like babying him and all of this. And you know that Conrad is not, Conrad is like attentive and actually care. It's different. They have like a soul connection, while as like a soul chemistry, like beyond speech connection, and he's genuinely curious and likes her as a person, while as Jeremiah, I feel like, sees her in a very surface level way of like a pretty fun girl he's known on all his life, and he loves her, but it's almost like he's not really a challenge for her, or I don't feel like there's a lot of depth to their relationship. But I think I'm digressing, because we were talking about sort of the character flaws, and but yeah, so people that blame Belly for doing what she did aren't giving giving her enough grace and enough sort of assessment of the situation of she's being jerked around by this one guy that she considers her one true love. She keeps getting a taste of heaven, getting it snatched, then getting it snatched. And listen, Conrad, as much as like everybody's now team Conrad after season 3, episode 2, where Jeremiah cheated, it's like Conrad was perfectly fine to just let her flounder about without air while he went to build his life. So he never said, hey, Belly, like, I feel like we have something. I want to give you the world, but would you please just, like, wait for me and, like a betrothal or something, like something old school like that. Because that makes sense, right? They could write to each other while they're long distance, and they could just kind of, like, both focus on school, and it's obviously, like, not an excuse to date other people. He's not, like, what is this bullshit of, sorry, Belly, I don't have the capacity to be in a relationship right now, but I'm gonna go to California and date some random girl when it's always been you, like, this is, I don't get I think there's, I don't know, that they're trying to fill some kind of drama quota, but it's not great for the character. And as for Belly, like, she needs to have a little bit more faith. Like, if she respects Conrad as much as she thinks she does, and she knows his character, then she would, like, know that he needs time, but that he will be back, and that, because of this connection they have, that there's no reason that she should be looking elsewhere or trying to fill the void elsewhere. She just needs to, focus on her dreams and schooling and all of those things, which, albeit, is really hard to do when, you just want to be in love and you want to date, and it's what everyone's doing, it's what's expected. And, her mom is, Laurel is very much like, go sow your wild oats and see the world and have experiences. So they're like, she's, like, told to get out there and have experiences, quote unquote, good or bad. But yeah, her clinging to Jeremiah is, I feel like, it's a way for her. I don't know if she also has a really deep empathy for Jeremiah. Like, she feels probably really bad about sort of kissing him and then switching up at the end of the summer in season 1 when Conrad comes back, right? And she kind of makes this resolution, I think, at the end of season 2 because of all the BS Conrad pulls. Like, Conrad is really, it's really unforgivable what he does, because one minute he's saying he has feelings for her, then he's saying he doesn't, even if it's untrue. Like, he just jerks her back and forth constantly. It's so horrible. And I don't want to be like one of those people like, oh, Belly and Conrad are so toxic, they shouldn't be together. Per how the story is written, they're destined to be together. That's why they have the freaking infinity necklace and all of the, all of the Destiny and Taylor Swift songs, reeling for the couple. But it's also a show about, it's a coming of age show, so it shows the growing pains of people, and it shows people making a lot of mistakes and being selfish. And it's also really realistic in that way. Like, if Conrad was a perfect, selfless character, there would be no drama, but he's like prideful, he gives and he takes, and he's slow on the gun draw. So you just, it's just a bunch of flawed characters interacting together, and that's what makes it a show. And also there's, love triangles have been a thing for years in television media and teen dramas especially. It's like very You've had it in Twilight and the Vampire Diaries. It's the will they, won't they. And then you have an audience that's divided. And the divide is usually pretty close. And I just wanted to come here and defend Belly. Honestly, if Belly was a man, I would probably not be defending her the way I'm defending, let's say, instead of Belly, it was a Beau or something. I would not be defending him in the same way. Once again, because there's certain allowances that I give to women just because of the way we naturally are. Like, I would say you can't really fault a girl for wanting to be in love and wanting to have a boyfriend. And when the guy that she likes, with her whole being, constantly pushes her away and hurts her, how do you, what is she supposed to do? What do any of you do? I feel like everybody I know is desperate. They just cannot stay single. So, yeah, obviously, everybody has got flaws. And I just want to say, Jeremiah's the complete opposite. He's, I'm not gonna go into teen dramas and how much sex happens in teen dramas and how I wish it didn't happen. But I just want to say Jeremiah's kind of the polar opposite of Conrad. He is not a guy who's gonna wait for himself to get things together, get out of college, get a job. He's the guy that's perfectly happy to just have Belly there along the way. And I think it's because he's quite narcissistic. He wants the gratification now, and he wants the girl now, and he wants her to be his right now, and it doesn't really matter as long as he snatches the ball away from Conrad. He doesn't care. Conrad is really slow and he takes his time, whereas Jeremiah kind of aggressively attacks, and that, these are two different techniques, and one definitely has an advantage, because when Belly's emotional and she's vulnerable and she wants love, and you have one person who's slow and unsure, another person who's aggressively excited and golden retriever-y, how can you not be swept up in all those feelings? Oh, and another thing, I just watched a Belly Conrad edit, and someone said in the comments that she is just literally, it's basically talking about how she's getting ready to go to the dinner where she's going to tell everyone she's getting married to Jeremiah. And I don't know if this was from the show or from the books, but she's monologuing about how she's shaving her legs twice and wearing those special heels and going all out. And it's not for Jeremiah, it's because Conrad's going to be there. And then everyone's saying she has gaslit herself into liking Jeremiah because of all of the circumstances of the information. She has all this information coming in at her that's okay, well, Conrad's gone. Conrad's not invested in me. It's not going to happen. It's not real. Jeremiah's here. Jeremiah's real. What we have is fun and good enough. And she's just gaslighting herself to stay in this relationship. The other thing I want to mention about Belly is her choice of Jeremiah over Conrad is sort of, I don't know, it screams to me kind of what the rhetoric in America is for most women, which is be humble, go for the lovable goofball. Don't strive for somebody out of your league, somebody that's, going to be financially and prestigiously successful, like a doctor or a lawyer, just she's basically, I feel, making the humble choice or settling. And this is sort of a lesson in the idea of Because, I mean, there's so many doctrines that sort of teach everyone, women especially, to be humble and not have insane expectations for people, for men especially. And this is like almost a lesson of what happens when you lower your expectations. What happens when you're okay with like the bumbling younger brother who doesn't have his future figured out, is a partier, is selfish, is, flirtatious, whatever. The party guy that doesn't really take life super seriously. This is what you get when you make that choice. And I feel like people are so, once again, mean to Belly for choosing, why did you go for the brother? Well, she went for Jeremiah because she felt so guilty. First of all, she felt guilty for the fact that he's always second best. And by the way, he's not even in the same league as Conrad, but he's always, because of their relationship, they're always being compared. So she feels so much empathy for him, and she tries to she's kind of doing what Jeremiah is doing, which is Conrad is getting all these other accolades, but he's not getting her. So what she does is she's almost like using herself as a prize to give him, to cheer him up, to make him feel better. And you could see through all of these season 3 episodes where she is just mothering him, and just, being the sweetest little lapdog ever, and Jeremiah just takes it for granted. It's just, this whole thing goes to show that don't settle for someone beneath you because you feel bad for them, or because some doctrine or whatever has told you time and time again to be humble and accept people as they are. And it's okay that he got you a tinfoil sliver of a ring and wants you to stay home from Paris because he's gonna miss you, and you can't leave him for 6 months. He'll cheat on you. Like, no. Let's all take the lesson. Take the lesson, digest it, and take the nutrients, right? So please, for the love of God, stop being such a Conrad fanboy. Because, first of all, the series has done a lot to make Conrad more likable. They cast Christopher Briney, who just has such a natural sweetness to him. I feel like book Conrad is much more of a selfish asshole that gets it together later in the series. But yeah, you guys gotta remember, stay with me now, and remember all of the shit that he did, all of the stuff that he pulled. So now that if you feel bad for him, remember that is a bed that he made himself with his Tom fuckery. In Jesus' name, amen. If you're wondering why my pencil rendition of the cast of The Summer I Turned Pretty in the season 3 premiere poster, why it looks nothing like them, I've been out of commission for a while, okay? I'm rusty. Also, it's hard to just wham bam sham thank you ma'am, however that goes. It's hard to get their essences. Also, they don't even look like themselves in those posters. They look like yassified versions, so I couldn't really capture their essence all that well. Yeah, it's on me, you guys. It's on me, but it's still better than anything you could do, so you're welcome.